Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. In this video I'll be showing you how I made this wide leg cropped t-shirt set. I made a pair of these wide legs a while back when I wasn't pregnant, and here I am rocking the same pair just a few weeks ago, so whether you're pregnant or not, they can work both ways. If you're interested in how I achieved this look, please stay tuned. Alright guys, let's get started. I'll be using about 2 yards of this stretch crepe fabric. You can use any kind of fabric with stretch in it that you'd like. I have this t-shirt that's comfort fit. You can use any type of t-shirt fit that you'd like. And these wide leg pants to trace for the patterns. First I take the pants and fold them in half to the back. The back pattern will also serve as the front pattern, so I'll only be tracing once. I trace across the bottom and add 2 inches to extend the width. At the crotch point, I also extend out about a ½ inch and connect those 2 points on a diagonal for the inner pant seam. Along the straight edge of the pant, I add about 5 inches to elongate the waistline. Now this may be different for you depending on how high you want your waistline to be. I suggest you try your pants on first and measure how high you want them. I trace across 7 inches, which is the measurement around the smallest part of my waist, 28 inches, divided by 4. You do the same for your own measurement. From that point, I trace down to connect the curve of the back and front seam with my curved ruler. Before tracing the shirt, I put it on and measure down from the front neckline to measure the length of the crop top to my liking, which for me ended up being 10 inches. I fold the shirt in half 10 inches down from the neckline, then fold it in half to the side, tucking in the bottom corners of the shirt. Starting from the front neckline, I trace around the shirt, then use my seam ripper to poke through the armhole and the front neckline seam to indicate onto the craft paper. I keep the shirt as is, and I trace around starting from the back neckline, and again I poke through the armhole and the back neckline seam to indicate onto the craft paper. Lastly, I take the sleeve and lay that flat. I trace around, then I use my seam ripper to poke through the top seam to indicate onto the craft paper. Here I have the front and the back pant pattern. The front and the back t-shirt pattern, and the sleeve pattern. I cut 2 of the pant patterns on the fold. One piece each of the front and back patterns on the fold, and 2 sleeves also cut on the fold. I put the shirt pieces to the side for now. Next I take both pant pieces and fold them right sides in, lining the inner pant edges together. Then I sew down with a zigzag stitch. After sewing those together, I cut the excess seam allowance off right above the stitch. You can use a serger or overlock stitch for a cleaner finish, but since I'm making this for myself, I'll just go ahead and cut the excess fabric off. I turn both pieces inside out, then line and pin the seams together. I continue pinning the front and back of the pant together along both sides. I sew across with a zigzag stitch. Here I have both sides of the pant sewn together, and I've also cut the excess seam allowance as well. I'll turn that right side out so you can see how the pants look after being attached. Now I add the waistband to the pants. I grab the waistband piece and some elastic. The length of the waistband is 28 inches long and 3 inches wide, which is double the width of the elastic plus 1 inch. I take the elastic and cut it the same length as the waistband. I fold the waistband in half, right sides facing in, and sew the raw ends together with a zigzag stitch. After sewing that together, I fold the seams of the waistband in half onto each other and pin. I continue folding the waistband in half all the way around. I pin on the other side at the half point, then line those two pins at the center and pin both center points on the opposite side of the waistband. I also pin both sides of the pant waistline. I pull the waistline of the pants through the waistband, first pinning the waistband seam and the back pant seam. Then I continue to pin the other 3 points together. I stretch to fit each section as I sew around with a zigzag stitch, leaving about a 1 inch opening in the back. After the waistband is attached, I find the opening in the back. Then I grab my elastic and attach a safety pin at one end. I push and pull the elastic through till I get to the other side of the opening. When I get through to the other side, I remove the safety pin and overlap both ends of the elastic about a ½ inch onto each other and sew together with a zigzag stitch. Here's the elastic sewn together, and now I'll adjust the elastic and evenly distribute it throughout the waistband. Once that's evenly distributed, I find the opening and sew it closed with a zigzag stitch. Here's the waistband completely installed. Moving on to the top, I line the front and back shoulders together, right sides facing in, and sew across with a zigzag stitch. I open the armhole after attaching the shoulders. Then I line and pin the center point of the sleeve and the shoulder seam together, right sides facing in. I continue pinning together along both sides. Then I sew across with a zigzag stitch. I'll do that a second time for the other side. Once the sleeves are attached, I turn the shirt wrong side out and pin the underarm seams together. Then I sew down the sides starting from the top of the sleeve to the bottom of the shirt with a zigzag stitch. I turn the shirt right side out after sewing the sides down and grab the neckband. To make the neckband, I measure around the neckline of the shirt. I use that measurement minus 1 inch for the length of the neckband at 1½ inches wide. I fold the neckband in half right side in and sew the raw ends together with a zigzag stitch. Next, I fold the seam of the neckband in half onto each other and pin. Then I continue folding the neckband in half all the way around. I I measure 1 inch in on the other half point of the neckband and pin at that point. I line both pins together and pin at the center point of the other 2 sides of the neckband. I also pin at the center point of the front and back neckline of the shirt. I line and pin the 4 points of the neckline with the 4 points of the neckband, making sure to line the shorter side of the neckband with the back neckline of the shirt. I pull the shirt through the neckband and begin pinning. I stretch to fit each section as I sew around with a zigzag stitch. Here's the neckband after being attached. I also hem the sleeves by folding in a 1/2 inch and sewing around with a zigzag stitch. After trying the shirt on, the fit at the bottom was too loose, so I'll tell you what I did to make the shirt more fitted since I forgot to record this part. First, I fold the shirt in half to the front. Before, the sides of the shirt went straight down from the underarm seam. To make it fitted, I measure across the bottom of the shirt 7.5 inches from the fold, which is the measurement around the smallest part of my waist, 28 inches divided by 4, plus the 1/2 inch seam allowance. I remove the remainder of the shirt by cutting from the underarm seam to the 7.5 inch point at the bottom of the shirt on a diagonal line. From there, I sew the sides closed with a zigzag stitch and hem the bottom of the shirt as well. I decided not to hem the bottom of the pants because I like the look and the flow better without it. After all that is finished, the set is now complete. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you know when there's a new upload. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.